What's up guys? I'm Steph. Today is December 3rd, and as some of you might know, December 1st was World AIDS Day. HIV/AIDS is a pretty big topic in the LGBTQ community, even though we aren't the only people who can get it. Big shock. Every 9.5 minutes in the United States, someone is diagnosed with HIV, and they're not all necessarily LGBTQ individuals. Although men who have sex with men are the highest percentage of HIV infections, having a rate of 66%, there's also a lot of other heterosexuals in there. The African American community is 40% of HIV infections. Whites are 32%, and Latinos are 20%. A lot of people see HIV and AIDS to be the gay man's disease, but that isn't necessarily true because women are actually 23% of those who are infected with HIV. There's currently 1.7 million people in the United States living with HIV and AIDS, and a much larger number worldwide. The scary thing is, 1 in 5 people living with HIV don't know it. Let's get to more facts. HIV refers to the human immunodeficiency syndrome, which is pretty much when you get infected with this virus, your immune system slowly begins to break down and your T cell level also decreases. AIDS is the acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It's pretty much when your immune system is completely broken down. HIV is pretty much the state in which your immune system is being broken down. AIDS is where your immune system is completely broken down. A lot of people think that AIDS is the reason people die, when it is in fact a cold or something which causes people to die. If you didn't have an immune system and you had a cold or some other infection, you would die because you wouldn't have a way of your body protecting itself against it. You cannot catch AIDS, but you can catch HIV. HIV/AIDS can be transferred in sexual intercourse, blood transfusions, needle sharing such as hypodermic needles, as well as childbirth. But the really cool thing about HIV is, you don't have to catch it. HIV, as well as other STDs, can be easily avoided with the use of a magical thing known as a condom. For those of you females out there who don't really think that it could work if you're a lesbian or you are someone who engages with sexual intercourse with a woman, you can use protection such as a dental dam, or you can even use a condom. The way you can use a male condom is if you take a nifty pair of scissors and pretty much cut through it, and then you have bam, dental dam right there. Protection, no HIV for you. Blood transfusion today is probably the smallest chance of getting HIV, because now that we know about the virus, you cannot donate blood if you are HIV positive, nor can you receive blood for someone who is HIV positive. Thus, you are not gonna be HIV positive. I definitely am not an advocate for drugs. I've never touched a drug. I'm perfectly fine not touching a drug. I think drugs are very, very bad. But for those of you who are still going to engage in drugs, even though I really wish you didn't, please, please just keep your needles to yourself. The only thing worse than a drug addict is a drug addict with HIV. That ain't cute. There's also a large percent of children with HIV and AIDS who get it from childbirth. A child can be infected with HIV if their mother is infected. It can happen when giving birth, drinking milk from the mother who is HIV positive, and a few other ways. For those of you who think you've never met anyone with HIV or AIDS, you probably have. The thing is with AIDS, if you're a living, breathing human being, you are capable of getting it, no matter what race, gender, sexuality, religion, whatever you are, you can get it. There used to be a really large case of discrimination against those with HIV and AIDS in the 1980s. They went through isolation, abuse, and a lot of other things. There wasn't a lot of research on HIV and AIDS at the time, and it's really a lot easier for people to hate what they don't understand, and they were in fear that they could get the virus as well. Honestly, the only ways you can get it are the ways I mentioned earlier. You cannot get HIV/AIDS from kissing someone with HIV/AIDS. Their saliva, their tears, even the same toilet. You are fine. Get yourself tested even if you don't think you have an STD. It doesn't hurt to get tested anyways. I hope you guys learned a bit about HIV and AIDS today and will take a bit more precautions when engaging in sexual intercourse or other bodily fluids activities. If you guys have any questions that you have for me specifically out of everyone on the channel, leave them in the comments below and I'll be sure to answer them in my next video. I love you guys. Have a super duper amazing week. Remember to always wear protection. Bye guys.